So what's up, people, and welcome to the Chapter 44 discussion of怪獣8号, or Monster Number 8. So Chapter 44 came out yesterday, and as always, I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, yeah, go take a look at it. Okay, so Chapter 44. Chapter 44 I really liked a lot. If you recall, in Chapter 43, we found out that Kafka was now hitting a snag in that he no longer can change himself into Monster Number 8. And this, of course, comes in a very dire situation because he just met up with Monster Number 9, who's trying to kill him. But at the end of Chapter 43, we find that Kikoru Shinomiya has come to help him out. And so Chapter 44 starts with that. And what we find out is, although there is this major problem that we see with Kafka right now, Chapter 44 revolves around Kikoru Shinomiya. And you're starting to understand how this author is bringing this character out, and I'm really liking it a lot. Now, with regards to the story, if you recall, Monster Number 9 was the one that almost killed Shinomiya in the past. It was during that time that Monster Number 8 came in clutch and took Monster Number 9 out. So both Monster Number 9 and Kikoru Shinomiya have some aggressive feelings towards each other. And although Chapter 44 starts out with these two facing off against one another, Kikoru Shinomiya says something that's quite curious, which is that she cannot take him out herself. And so she asks Kafka to somehow transition back to Monster Number 8 again while she keeps Monster Number 9 busy, because she will need his help to be able to take him out. Now, this is different from Shinomiya in the past, who tried to do everything herself, and so you do see a little bit of character progression. But I want to reflect back to a video that a gentleman named SuperEyepatchWolf made for a comic called One Piece. Why you should watch/read One Piece. But in that video, he talked about the difference between character development and character progression. Now, character progression is, of course, how the character progresses through the actual story itself, how that character changes, evolves during the actual story, and we see a little bit of that with Shinomiya. But character development, from his definition, is how fleshed out the character is, how much depth, how much character is introduced to the reader as the story comes through. This isn't about how the character changes within the story. This is about how deep the character is in the story itself. And I feel Chapter 44 focuses on character development rather than character progression. And during the battle with Monster Number 9, we find that Shinomiya is pretty overwhelmed. But what Monster Number 9 finds out is no matter how hard he tries to take her down, she still seems to come back fighting. And this triggers a backstory. And the backstory is a relatively standard backstory that you see in many of these types of stories. But this isn't about originality. This is about execution. You may have seen this type of story in other mangas, but that doesn't mean that it's not well done here. It's quite well done here, and it really gives a lot more depth to the story. As we find out in this chapter, that Kikoru's mother used to be a JDF soldier. And not only that, she used to be one of the best in the JDF. If I were to make an analogy, Kikoru's mother, Hikari, used to be what Mina is now. She was the leader of Division 2 and one of the strongest JDF soldiers during that time. And what we find is that Kikoru looked up to Hikari a lot, and the relationship between the mother and the daughter were really close. And this, of course, sets up for the rest of the backstory, which I won't go into here, but if you're interested, you could read the chapter in Manga Plus. And it is pretty standard, but it does give you a lot more complexity to the character, a lot more depth, and you start understanding why she is like she is. And though I mentioned that this character is starting to grow on me in the last chapter, I'm finding that I'm even liking this character even more in this one. But in any case, that is the chapter 44 discussion for monster number 8. It'll be interesting to see how this battle fares because as Kikoru said, she feels she won't be able to win this battle unless Kafka can turn himself back into monster number 8 to be able to assist with the battle. Which of course means that there's a good probability that Kikoru is going to get her butt beaten in, but it will be the trigger that will give Kafka enough motivation to be able to overcome his obstacle and turn into monster number 8. It's a standard trope, but once again, this isn't about originality, this is about execution, and so far, Matsumoto Sensei has done a very good job in executing the story. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in chapter 45, and when it comes out, I'll make another video. And thank you very much for watching this one, and until the next one, happy manga reading, and as always, Jaya, nice day everyone.